Shalom, call Halo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakradash, Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% true from. Shalom to the elder bishops out of Connecticut and the elders, the prophets, the teachers, and evangelists also of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% true from. Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, the water for your sacrifices and your lessons. Shalom to the speckled bird, the confused space, the Akim and Akwa, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. Back again with another video, praying that you be edified with it. And I'm just, it's, you know what I mean, I had a lesson, but I was like, let me save that for later on. You know, we wanted to concentrate more on news and prophecy. So this is Democracy Now! I do watch this, I subscribe to them, and you know, they're just gonna kind of give us some more information on, you know, what's happening right now, and you know, Abarakazar use it to filter it and bring some scriptures out. Okay, so let's just check out what she's talking about. Check it out.
The U.S.-Israeli war in Iran has entered. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The U.S.-Israeli war in Iran has entered its 12th day. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced that Tuesday was the most intense day of U.S. strikes on Iran. Iranian authorities say U.S. and Israeli forces have bombed nearly 10,000 civilian sites in the country and killed more than 1,300 civilians since the war began. This morning, Iran says it targeted Israel's military intelligence agency, a naval base in Haifa, and an Israeli radar system. Meanwhile, the Pentagon says Iranian strikes across the region has so far injured 140 U.S. service members, killing 7 U.S. troops. Another one has also died. This is White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt.
What is your current timeline for how long the war will last?
So look, as you know, Steve, the president and the U.S. military's initial timeline was about 4 to 6 weeks to achieve the full objectives of Operation Epic Fury. Again, to destroy their missiles and their ability to make them, destroy their navy, permanently deny them nuclear weapons forever, and to, of course, weaken their evil terrorist proxies in the region.
The Pentagon reportedly spent $5.6 billion worth of munitions during the first 2 days of striking Iran, according to a cost estimate shared with Congress. The Trump administration is expected to send Congress a supplemental military budget request this week. It comes as the Trump administration is reportedly considering deploying special forces into Iran to secure its stockpile of highly enriched uranium. This is
They wildin', man. They talking about putting. I was listening to a lesson earlier, and they talking about putting boots on the grounds of Iran, and it's like that's not going to work, man. Y'all don't know nothing about the terrain there, and you know, y'all may have some understanding, but y'all don't know nothing about living and fighting a war in Iran's terrain. But you know, I think Elder Yashawamba was going into how the Iran was never conquered as far as on you know, boots on the ground, and you know, with them considering that, which I mean, you know, Nero, man, he's a wild man. He's gonna, if he say it, eventually he's going to probably do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to this type of situation. And this is what's going to lead to the drafting, because you know, I mean, I think they're fabricating on the depths of what's going on. I think there's many more. They're just not letting you know, because they don't want you to know that they're you know, being taken down by the that army. You know, so, you know, they're trying to make it seem like, you know, they got an upper hand on it, like with them asking her, you know, how long they think it's going to take. She's talking about a month and a half, and it's not going to take a month and a half. This is the beginnings of the escalation of WW3, you know what I'm saying? This is Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. As soon, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And that's what they are, man. They're a proud, wicked type of people. I don't even know if the people is the right word to use to describe them. You know what I mean? They're beasts, you know, and you know they're hypocrites very much. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua is preparing war for them to be destroyed, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. You know what I mean? They think they're going in to have glory and victory, and it's not set up like that. That's not how the scriptures speak about it. This is 1 Timothy 4:2. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience sear with a hot iron, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which the Most High have created to receive with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. So only the ones who are speaking this truth are going to be the ones who are going to make it, or be able to be about, you know, to get up out of the situations that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has set. He set a lot of pits and snares for a lot of different people, and a lot of different people are going to be destroyed. Let it play some more.
Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal.
I guess I am most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially.
Now I know through the spirit, you know what I mean? You know, you never can presume to think that somebody is Edomite or Israelite or whatever it may be, but how this dude look, this Richard Blumenthal, he might even be a small hat. He's an Edomite.
Deploying our sons and daughters on the ground in Iran. We seem to be on,
at least just my opinion,
a path toward deploying American troops on the ground in Iran to accomplish any of the potential objectives here.
Meanwhile, a New York Times analysis of missile fragments from the site of the bombing of the girls' school in Manab in southern Iran on February 28th resemble the markings of a U.S.-made cruise missile. It adds to the mounting evidence that U.S. forces struck the girls' primary school. It comes as Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, dismissed the Trump administration's claims Iran was planning a preemptive strike against the U.S. as a sheer and utter lie, unquote. On X, Araghchi wrote, quote, "The sole purpose of that lie is to justify Operation Epic Mistake, a misadventure engineered by Israel and paid for by ordinary Americans," he wrote. This is Iran's ambassador to the UN, Amir Sayed Iravani.
Their intention is clear: to terrorize civilians, massacre innocent people, and cause maximum destruction and suffering. The world is witnessing how a rogue and irresponsible state, together with an illegitimate regime, is targeting the Iranian schools, hospitals, residential building infrastructure, sports hall, and relief facilities. These attacks have already claimed the lives of hundreds of innocent civilians, including women and children.
Israel continues its attacks on Lebanon, with the war expanding to central Beirut. An Israeli strike on a Ramada hotel killed at least 4 people. Israel claimed it was targeting commanders with Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. According to the Lebanese government, Israeli strikes have killed 570 people in Lebanon, including over 80 children, while 750,000 people have been forced to flee their homes there. This is Basma Ramadan, who witnessed an Israeli strike on a building near her.
We were sleeping. At around 5:30 a.m., I was asleep with my husband. My son was still awake after coming back from work. The sound was indescribable. The fear is indescribable. Enough is enough. Enough. This is a nightmare. When will it end? We really can't endure it anymore.
Iran continued to fire retaliatory missiles and drones at targets across the Gulf region. Saudi Arabia says it destroyed 5 Iranian drones heading toward the kingdom's Shebaa oil field. Kuwait said it downed 8 drones off the coast of the United Arab Emirates in the Strait of Hormuz. A projectile hit a container ship. The Dubai government says that air defenses intercepted 2 drones near Dubai airport, injuring 4 people. In Iraq, a drone hit a major U.S. diplomatic facility next to the Baghdad airport. CNN's reporting Iran has laid a few dozen mines in the Strait of Hormuz and has the capability to place hundreds more. The U.S. military said it attacked and destroyed 16 Iranian mine-laying vessels near the strait. Since the beginning of the war, international tankers have largely avoided the Strait of Hormuz, and shipping traffic has considerably slowed. The U.S.-Israeli war in Iran has caused oil prices to surge from less than $70 a barrel on February 27th, a day before the war, to a peak of nearly $120 a barrel by Monday. Prices have now settled to about $90 a barrel. According to AAA, the average price of U.S. gasoline has shot up to $3.48 a gallon from just under $3 a week ago. The Iran war is also driving up the cost of fertilizers such as urea, ammonia, and other nitrogen products that are critical for food production. The American Farm Bureau Federation sent a letter to the White House saying, quote, "We are deeply concerned that failure to act could lead to disruptions to the food supply chain not seen since 2022, when food price inflation reached 40-year highs," unquote. Reuters reports U.S. oil companies Chevron and Shell are close to finalizing a deal that would become the first major oil production agreement with Venezuela since the U.S. abducted the former president Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores.
And you got to understand, too, that all these things are happening because it's weakening the nations. When Yahushua come back, not that Yahushua need to weaken them, because Yahushua and maybe just 2 angels alone of cause havoc here. But, because of the scriptures and his namesake, he's weakening these nations for us. And, when he send Yahushua, man, that's why it's going to take an hour for him to be done and destroy all the power of what Esau maintained, because he's the one that's running everything power-wise and such and so. And, you can see now how all the nations are going to hate this devil, because they all had listened to him and they believed in him, not realizing that this man is a liar. You know what I'm saying? And he's a hypocrite, and he uses everybody and breaks covenants with people that he gets involved with, only so he can take advantage of you or use you, or when your guard is down, attack you. You know what I mean? This is Jeremiah 25:31. "A noise shall come even from the ends of the earth, for Yahweh, thy power, hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh." Go ahead. Yeah. Habakkuk 2:6. Actually, I'll start at 4. "Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine." So he uses democracy and wicked ways to promote his hell. You know what I'm saying? To promote his wickedness. "He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied." He can't be satisfied. He want everything and then some. "But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." And all these people that were in bed with Esau, they're starting to see who he really is. You know what I'm saying? So, verse 6 says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? That clay is a debt. And what he does is he puts Salakia, he makes debt, but he puts people in situations to be in debt to him. And now that he's in debt, he don't want to pay. He want to go straight to war, fucking devil.
It is. Just weeks after Venezuela's interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, signed a law that opened Venezuela's oil industry to privatization, reversing a key principle of the Chavista movement that persevered in Venezuela for more than 2 decades. The artificial intelligence company Anthropic is suing the Trump administration after the Pentagon designated Anthropic as a supply chain risk, unquote. That's after Anthropic refused to lift restrictions on its AI tool Claude, prohibiting the military from using it for autonomous weapons or domestic surveillance. It comes amidst reports that the Pentagon relied on Anthropic's Claude tool to strike 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours of its attack on Iran. The Pentagon had also reportedly used Claude in the abduction of Venezuela's former president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. Meanwhile, a senior member of OpenAI's robotics team has resigned over the company's new partnership with the Pentagon. Caitlin Kalinowski said she was stepping down on principle after OpenAI agreed to make its AI systems available inside the Pentagon. A whistleblower complaint alleges a former worker with the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, accessed 2 restricted databases and planned to share the highly sensitive information with a private employer. That's according to the Washington Post, which reported the Social Security Administration's internal watchdog is now investigating the complaint. If the allegations are confirmed, it would constitute an unprecedented breach of security protocols at the agency. The 2 databases included the records of over 500 million people in the United States, living and dead. The former DOGE employee reportedly copied the data onto a personal thumb drive. This adds to the mounting reported violations of Elon Musk's DOGE as it slashed funding for federal agencies. Alabama's governor has commuted the death sentence of Charles Sonny Burton, a 75-year-old African-American man who spent 3 decades on death row for a killing he did not commit. Burton was convicted for the 1991 fatal shooting of Doug Battle during a store robbery. Burton participated in the robbery, but had already left when the person he was with shot and killed Battle. Republican Governor Kay Ivey's decision came 2 days before Burton was scheduled to be executed using nitrogen gas. The daughter of the victim, Tori Battle, had joined calls to commute Burton's death sentence, writing in an op-ed for the Montgomery Advisor, quote, "My love for my father does not require another death, especially one that defies reason," unquote. Burton uses a wheelchair due to his painful arthritis. He will now serve a life sentence without parole. Governor Ivey has presided over at least 25 executions in Alabama. Staff members at Columbia University and New York Presbyterian Hospital were discouraged from reporting abuse by committed.
Hold on, I got a scripture. Where's that scripture at? Damn, I'm thinking, how would I word it? Let me see, hold on. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore. So just like they had that man there sitting there for 3 decades, now he rotting in there, and he was supposed to be on a death penalty. Now, this is what they do, man. They hate us that much to where they're trying to find ways to persecute us, man. Let me see. Where's that? 17. Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they are with him are called the chosen and faithful. Another word is the elect. That's who they are. You know what I mean? This devil's about to get ready to run down on us, man. And y'all worried about being here and doing in nonsense. And you should be concentrated on this. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
By convicted gynecologist Dr. Robert Haddon, who sexually assaulted hundreds of women over the span of more than 20 years while employed at both institutions. That's according to a new independent report which blames the systemic abuses on Columbia's culture of silence as the university protected Dr. Haddon even after he was accused of assaulting a patient in 2012 and arrested. The external investigation says Haddon used his prestigious position to prey on women. Haddon was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2023. A statement from the survivors of Haddon's abuse said, quote, survivors and the public at large have spent more than a decade rightfully demanding the truth about what happened at Columbia. We are still waiting, they said. To see our extensive coverage of this case and interviews with many survivors, go to our website at democracynow.org. The Justice Department has reached a major settlement with Live Nation, the parent company of Ticketmaster, avoiding a breakup of the world's largest live entertainment company. The Justice Department had accused Live Nation of operating an illegal monopoly on the concert business. According to the terms of the settlement, Live Nation agreed to change how it makes ticketing deals with venues and would also pay up to $280 million in damages. Dozens of states have vowed to continue legal action against Live Nation. New York Attorney General Letitia James said, quote, we will keep fighting this case without the federal government so that we can secure justice for all those harmed by Live Nation's monopoly, unquote. In Oregon, a federal judge is continuing to restrict federal agents from using tear gas on protests outside an ICE building in Portland. The preliminary injunction comes as part of a lawsuit filed by the ACLU.
See, this man, this devil that the Most High created him to be wicked in every facet of the world. His job is, his blessing is the sword. And his job is to destroy and kill, rape, rob, and murder, and lie. That's what his job is. He doesn't know how to do anything other than that. This is Proverbs 29:27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in his way is an abomination to the wicked. So the Most High made the wicked versus the righteous, Esau versus Jacob, Jacob versus Esau, and it's going to continue until we get to until Yahushua comes, man. Yahushua is going to bring peace on the earth. That's why he's the Prince of Peace. He's the Lord of Lords. He's going to make everything right. Versus what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua allowed Esau to make everything wrong. Job 9:24. Okay? Here's no, I don't want to get that. I don't need that. I could probably say that for another time. I'm gonna read this right here. I was gonna read something else, but 2 Esdras 15:26. For Yahweh thy power knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. Now we know too, once this devil started to use the Bible to swear in their presidents and so, and claim that this was a Christian nation, and that they followed the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know what I mean? They really put themselves, because the heathen nations before didn't carry, or nor did they go by the law, statutes, and commandments. That was only for us, for the Israelites. But now that they swore to it, they're going to be held accountable for everything that they did. They speak against the Most High. Let me get that scripture. Is that Slakia? Let's see. Where's Isaiah? Where's that one at? Bear me 1 second, Israel. I got it. I just wanted to get it in the NLT. So this is Daniel 7:25, and it reads, "He will defy the Most High and oppress the holy people of the Most High. He will try to change their sacred festivals and laws, and they will be placed under his control for times and a time and a half. But then the court will pass judgment, and all his power will be taken away and completely destroyed." Not somewhat destroyed, but completely destroyed. So Abba Rakhtazar, you edified with that, man, and how Rakhtazar come back up with another lesson this afternoon, this evening, and with that, say, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKradash. Shalom, salutations, and double honors again to the elder apostles of GMS on down, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.